Hi, welcome back to my channel. Another week has passed and I'm really glad to see you again. I hope you've been having a productive week so far. And lately, I've been struggling with anxiety and discouragement, feeling overwhelmed by a storm of emotions that slow me down. And I spent the last few weeks reflecting on those feelings and trying to understand where they were coming from. The good news is, I finally found a way to embrace all those negative emotions, or as I usually call it, chaos. And the solution I discovered for getting through that chaos is actually very simple, just by 2 words: slowing down. To be honest, slowing down doesn't come natural to me, especially when I'm trying to figure things out. It's something that took me years to learn. I picked it up gradually through dealing with my own problems, self-reflections, reading, and learning bit by bit along the way. The thing is, because I haven't practiced it consistently, so I often forgot to slow down when I'm facing something hard. And most of the time, I fall back into my usual reactions, letting my emotions take over, and that often left me feeling confused and burnt out. It affects my everyday life and throw off my whole schedule. Like this year, for example, I set up a plan for myself with 5 or 6 different goals, but with that many tasks and the fact that I didn't plan as well as I thought, then I got overwhelmed by it. I tried to work on everything at once, and that led to problems and setbacks that slowed me down and kept me from reaching what I wanted. My to-do list kept piling up and I started feeling burnt out. It became like a circle I kept falling into. I honestly didn't want to stay stuck in that loop. I just want to feel like I was making progress, give myself some credit, and accept that achieving my goals could take time. But instead, I spent most of my time worrying and letting negative emotions take over. That threw me off track. And staying in that emotional state for too long really wasn't healthy at all. That's when I told myself something has to change. At that moment, I picked up the journal I've been writing in for a long time. It's kind of like a notebook where I would talk to myself at the end of the day. I know I've been writing in it as often as I used to, but I just got pulled into reading my own reflections, flipping from one page to the next. It hit me. I had gone through talk time back then too, but the way I handled things was different. I was dealing with mental blocks just like I am now, but one thing I always held on to back then was a positive attitude. I was usually looked on the bright side, took things slow, and handled each challenge one at a time. That's the complete opposite of how I've been acting lately. I usually getting pessimistic about my current situations and constantly blaming myself for not being enough. But reading those handwritten pages brought me back. It helped me slow down and reminds me of what really matters. All of it came down to one simple idea, that is, take things slow and be present. The real issues came from bad timing, trying to rush things that actually need time. I had unrealistic expectations for myself. I kept pushing too hard, and that made me feel like it was never enough, like there was always something wrong with me. Deep down, there's this urge in me to do better, but reality doesn't always move as fast as I wanted to. So I became impatient and hard with myself. I thought I shouldn't feel happy because I haven't achieved this or that yet. I don't deserve to slow down, or I should always feel sad or disappointed. Like, that's the only acceptable way to be. I tend to look for another and think everyone else forward so quickly. Why I feel like I was just standing still. That only added to the pressure and anxiety. And I also forgot that everyone has their own pace, their own journey. And on top of that, there was a peer pressure too. I used to tell myself that good things take time and I need to learn as I go, but somehow I let my own judgment and doubts pull me away from that mindset. And when all of those thoughts started to pile up, I froze. And that was the moment I realized I need to do something differently. So I decided to look back at how I ended tough time in the past to remind myself and to find some clarity. You know, the more I read through my own journal, the more I began to realize that there's a way forward. It honestly felt like I was reading someone else's word, but it was me. And as I read, I started asking myself questions like, what did I learn from getting through all of that? What lesson could help me now? For example, I can use it for my current situations. How did I overcome things before, and what parts of that mindset can I bring back today? That journal feels like a teacher of mine. It reminds me to accept myself again, and it brought me back to the symbol that helped me in the past, is staying calm and dealing with one thing at a time. Also, it reminds me of something I used to believe. Life is chaotic and difficult, but also beautiful. I used to be ready to welcome whatever came my way, no matter how hard it was. That's the spirit I want to reconnect with. You know, I once heard a quote that really stuck with me. Chaos brings others. And it actually makes sense, because chaos isn't always a disaster. It's often just a problem that needs care and attention. Think about it like this. Imagine you are preparing for a final exam and you feel anxious because there's too much to cover. So you try to study everything at once, jumping randomly from topic to topic, and of course, you will become overwhelming. But when you slow down, breathe, break things down, and make a list, you suddenly start to feel a little more in control. One step at a time, you begin to calm your mind. It's not the exam that changes. It's how you approach it. Somehow you might be wondering, so how can I slow down? Well, there's so many techniques out there that you can try, but I think I'll try my best to share what's worked for me, my own simple methods. I think it might work for you, or you probably can find something that fits you better. And I'm just here to share what helped me in case it helped you too. So, when it comes to slowing down, here's what it usually looks like for me. First, it starts with accepting the situations. Just being honest that I'm worried and maybe even frozen. It's that feeling where you want things to move forward but nothing seems to be happening. Or maybe things are actually moving but you can't feel it or see the result yet. That kind of uncertainty traps you in worry because your instinct keeps telling you should be doing more. But that's actually a sign. It's a moment where I know I need to slow down, take a break, and give yourself a little space to breathe, to regain some inner strength. And if you can, find a different way of approaching things. When you're dealing with something that's overloaded you or something you've been wanting to do for a long time, you've learned to break it down into small and doable steps. That really helps relieve the sense of overwhelm. And sometimes it's as simple as saying to yourself in that example I gave about preparing for the final exam, like you might say like this, okay, I'm just going to study chapter 1 and then I move on to chapter 2 for tomorrow. Instead of trying to study everything at once and ending up jumping around with no directions, I think you should break it down into small steps, and that really helps. It gives you control. It helps use your energy in a better way and calms the worry, because you are not wasting time. You're actually doing something, even if it's small. Are you still moving forward? And that's bring you back to something you're always trying to remind yourself, that chaos brings others. So just trust the process. I know that we all want to improve, we all want to move forward, but without a little chaos, and then we would probably keep doing things the same old way. Sometimes we don't realize there's another path until life throws something in our way and forces us to stop and look around. And that's the beautiful thing. I think life gives us challenges because they push us to growth. Of course, growth usually comes with discomfort. It's annoying, painful, and never easy. But every challenge carries an opportunity. If we accept it and try to deal with it, we grow. And if we don't, that's okay too. We might stay where we are and the problem might be still there. But eventually, we can choose whether we want to get used to it or move beyond it. So, when we're facing chaos, what do we really have to work with? The answer is slowing down. Growth doesn't happen overnight, and neither does clarity in the middle of chaos. Sometimes slowing down is exactly what helps us to see things more clearly, and it can actually lead to better results. And that's really the biggest lessons I've learned. Chaos brings both order and opportunity. So don't let it trap you or us in worry. So this is the end of the video for today, and I hope you find something helpful for yourself, and thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.